Hey guys, it's Nailbiter, and I've got another Battlefield 3 video here for you guys. And in this video I have some more gameplay with another one of the weapons from the Close Quarters expansion. In this video you're seeing some gameplay with the Scar L, which is the second assault rifle that you can unlock from the Close Quarters expansion. I think that after you complete the first assignment you need to get, I think it might be 20 grenade launcher kills and 15 kills with a normal grenade, and then you unlock this weapon. And this gameplay is just some highlights from, I think, a couple of rounds that I played on Seine Crossing. And this is actually Seine Crossing Conquest, and this is actually the small version of the Conquest map, because I was having trouble finding a good server to play in, so I thought I'd play some Conquest Small, which is something that I haven't really done in a while. And to be honest, I don't really like Conquest Small, or at least for Seine Crossing, I don't really like it very much, just because it feels like it's hard to really maneuver about the map. Just there's a lot of camping, and I just don't like the flow of Conquest Small as compared to Conquest Large. So unfortunately, I was kind of stuck playing this, but I had a couple of pretty good games, and you're going to see some highlights of those rounds. And so just get back to the Scar L, which is really what I want to focus on in this video. I think the attachments that I was using in the gameplay that you're seeing is the red dot sight, the underslung rail, and heavy barrel. And I haven't really used too much of the other attachments with this weapon. I did use the foregrip a little bit, but I wouldn't recommend using that with this gun because it doesn't really have that much recoil. It's pretty similar, and that guy just walked right by me, and I couldn't kill him for some reason. But this gun feels pretty similar to the Scar H, the engineer weapon, and I mean, obviously, just because their names are so similar, it kind of makes sense that they're similar handling weapons. But the Scar L, it's a pretty slow firing weapon. It has a slow rate of fire, but it does really good damage. So as you'll see over the course of this video, if I get a couple of good shots on people, I can take enemies out pretty quickly with this weapon. And it doesn't have a ton of recoil, but it's definitely not a weapon that I would say you should full auto with, and if possible, I'd say just to avoid that. Really, except for when you're right in somebody's face and you have to hip fire them, because this gun doesn't have great hip fire, and it's for some reason sometimes I find when I full auto with it, just none of my bullets hit their target. It's kind of strange, but even if my crosshairs are right on the enemy, the bullets just don't make any impact. It's kind of strange. So definitely burst fire with this weapon, and it does a lot of damage, as I mentioned. So it can be very effective, and I don't really think it's that good a weapon for close quarters, to be honest. It really isn't great at as I mentioned, at hip firing and at really close ranges. I mean, you can take enemies out quickly, but I think it's a much better gun at medium to long ranges, where you can. I think there's a clip in here where I'm kind of taking guys out at long ranges with like just a couple of headshots. So I think that's really where this gun is the best. I actually like the AUG better, and I know I didn't do a commentary about the AUG, but I like the AUG much more than this weapon. I think it's a better all-around weapon than the Scar L, and I don't know. The Scar L is, I mean, it's a good weapon. It's not bad by any means, but I definitely like some of the other weapons and some of the other assault rifles better. And I mean, I think part of the reason for that is just that if you're using the Scar L, you have to play a little more conservatively, just because if you sort of run into somebody kind of unexpectedly, it's at close ranges. It can just be kind of difficult to take them out, and I mean, part of it's just the slow fire rate, and I mean, here you can kind of see I miss some of my shots initially on these guys that are sitting behind those boxes, but then I'm able to get just a couple of headshots really, and I mean, this is a thing where this gun can be really effective. I mean, I think I hit that guy maybe like just a couple times. I mean, it really didn't take very many bullets to take these guys out. So if you can get bullets on target, this gun can be very effective, but it's really not a good gun to use if you're trying to play aggressively or if you're trying to move around a lot. It's rewarding if you are sort of taking your time and being very precise in your aiming and burst firing. But you know, it's if you start to get into, or if you start moving around a lot and full autoing, this gun doesn't do very well. So you do have to sort of restrict yourself a little bit in the way you play. And I definitely found that when I was playing more aggressively, it was a little harder to do well with this weapon. But it's not a bad weapon, I don't think. And I do think, just to go back to the attachments that I was using, I think heavy barrel is probably the best attachment to use in that third slot. You could probably use foregrip in that second slot, although I think that you know the foregrip, while it does reduce recoil, it also increases your bullet spread, which I think is probably a bad thing for this weapon, because you do want it to be as accurate as possible, and I think that's where it really excels, as I mentioned, in its accuracy. So I would say something like the underslung rail and heavy barrel, or maybe the bipod and heavy rail or heavy barrel could be a good combination. I think this weapon is better suited for medium to long range encounters than for close ranges. So that's what I'd recommend with this weapon. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not sure how well it's suited for close quarters encounters. So you know, we'll see how it works on some of the newer maps, which I think for premium players, we'll be able to play the new close quarters maps next Tuesday. I'm not sure about that, but that's what I think. So, I mean, I'll definitely try it out on those maps and see how it works. But just from the little bit that I've used this weapon since I unlocked it, I think it's probably better in medium to long range situations. So, and as I said, it's not a bad gun, but I think I definitely prefer the AUG quite a bit to this weapon. And you know, I think the M416, you know, is probably still my favorite weapon. So there are a few other assault rifles that I would definitely use over this one, but it's a pretty good gun, and I'd say definitely try it out if you haven't unlocked it yet, or if you haven't tried it out yet. It can be fun to use. So the gameplay is just about finished here. Just to let you guys know, I do have a lot more gameplay with some of these new weapons that I've recorded. I'll have another video about the Spaz 12 up sometime soon. I've got some more gameplay recorded with that. And I might do another video about the AUG, since I didn't actually post I didn't have commentary in the gameplay video that I posted of that. And then I also want to do some, I want to post a video about the ACR, or the ACWR, I guess is what it's called. And so I'll have that probably at some point soon as well. And I'm still struggling to get the TAR 21 unlocked. I think that's what it's called. I have not been able to get that EOD bot kill, and I spent a couple hours earlier today just trying to get that EOD. I mean, that wasn't all I was doing, but that's kind of what I was focusing on, and I just could not do it. So if you guys have any suggestions about that, let me know, because I've been struggling with that. But anyways, there's the end of the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later.